Hello everyone. Hi, this is Mita, your astrology journalist. I crack myself up when I do the introductions. It's so funny to me. So anyway, yeah, I just find it funny. I make myself laugh. But anyway, let me start all over again. Hi everyone, this is Mita, your astrology journalist. I was working on, your charts, my clients' charts, your charts, and it is obviously 3 a.m. If it's not 3 a.m., then it's 12 a.m. Right now it is 3 a.m. and I'm in France, and I just thought about the eighth house and how important it is. And I think that, well, a lot of people, they fear the eighth house because of what it represents and how it's reflected, through the theories and real lives, So a lot of people fear this eighth house, but I was thinking about it from a point of women. Yes, Jupiter is going to be joining the Cancer sign, as we all know, very soon. Very, very soon. And I have been asking and pleading with all those Cancer heavy people in terms of planetary placements when it comes to Jupiter, Moon, Venus, to promote everything that Cancer promotes. And that is breastfeeding, that is pregnancy, that is birthing and carrying children, motherhood. I think this is my specific purpose, actually, within astrology. Yes, I love synastry, but in terms of preaching, I think this is what I want to push people on. I want to lead people towards when it comes to astrology, because it's bothering me. It's bothering me of how much, this domain has so much power, so much strength, but it is not given the attention that it's deserving. And it is also incredibly disturbing how we have, as a community, as an astrology community, how we have embraced Mars being in the fourth house. We have embraced Mars being in the fourth house. And because we have embraced Mars, we are obviously reflecting the times and the progressions of these planets. And the world is really focusing on Mars being in the fourth house, being the main determining planet within the fourth house. And because we have promoted Mars to be the key planet within the fourth house and no longer Jupiter, we have twisted things around. We have placed Mars as the husband of the home and no longer Jupiter. We have accepted Mars as the mother within the home and no longer Moon. We no longer see Mars as what it is when it comes to the household, that it is actually the building. It can also be the land. It is the vehicle, the thing that makes the household functions, but not the actual key within the home. So because now we have increased Mars and we've promoted Mars to take on roles of the moon, the mother, we've promoted Mars to take on roles of the husband, Jupiter, and we have obviously promoted the destruction of family life, basically. And, this is also obviously showing in how we raise families nowadays. Nowadays, fathers are the key parenting people within the household. Fathers are seen as being capable of being pregnant. Fathers are seen as being nurturing nowadays. And it is obviously, as I said, reflecting the transits of the planets, because we must remember we do have Uranus in the second house of Taurus, of family life. And we have been having Pluto in Capricorn, which is also about traditions and how we used to do things. And those things have changed, have transformed, because Pluto has been in the signs of tradition. And so with Uranus in the family sign of Taurus, things will keep on changing when it comes to family. But as I said the other day, that people with Cancer, Moon in Cancer, Venus in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, you have the strength to maintain and guard and protect what this Cancer sign has always represented. And so, in any case, I was thinking about the 8th house, not the 4th house, but I was thinking about the 8th house in terms of women and how women are actually stronger. I'm sorry, man, but women are actually stronger. And well, I'm just going to obviously keep to astrology and not talk politics and not talk biological science in that manner. I'm going to keep strictly to astrology, because this is how I can explain it best. This is how I am downloading it best. So women survive the 8th house throughout the year. This is how you know that women are stronger. They survive the 8th house throughout the year. As soon as a woman gets their period, this is when their strength is multiplied. But they don't tell you this because they want you to doubt your strength. They want you to doubt your capabilities. They want you to doubt what you can do as a woman. Immediately when you get your period, you literally go through death and rebirth, and you survive it. And you bleed every month, but that bleeding does not take away your strength. It actually makes you stronger, cleaner, more purified. Because your body does something incredible of cleansing you. And so this is why a whole lot of traditions in the old days had made you feel impure when you have your period, because they understood the power. They understood the power. So to demoralize you and demotivate you and take over your energy, they had to make what is your strength actually to seem like a weakness. When women give birth, all of you, when you give birth, you remember, we all remember, we thought we're gonna die. We thought, oh my gosh, this is painful. But you remember how you felt after you gave birth, don't you? You felt empowered. You felt strengthened. Actually, something within you was awakened. You became stronger and you became more protective. The innate protector within you got up and said, I am now more stronger, more willing to do anything to protect my children. Right? But because we have promoted Mars as now the main planet of family, of course we accept abortions now because that's Mars. Abortions is Mars. Miscarriage is Mars. Everything that destroys the life within the womb, it comes from Mars. I repeat, everything that destroys what is within the womb, it is Mars. But don't be distracted because Mars is also blood. You need blood to make babies. You need blood to survive. You need blood to have your oxygen, to just be a human being, not a vampire. So Mars is important. This is why I say Mars is the boyfriend, Jupiter is the husband. Because to get into the relationship, you need that you need that bravery of Mars to approach you and to court you and to and just to make love. to you, just to awaken your senses, right? Not just like spiritual love, but like, you know what I mean? Like, like the 12 a.m., 3 a.m. love, right? That's Mars. Jupiter is just going to be like what? Like the 8 p.m. love. So you do need Mars for sure. But do you need to promote Mars to replace the important parts within the family? No. But that's what we've done. And people, everyone has to follow their chart. So if your chart requires you to have an experience of abortion, no one is charging you. You're following your chart. You are reflecting what you ought to learn here, what you ought to do on on this earth. So no one should be judging, right? Because we're all following our charts. But what I'm talking about is the astrological consequences of how these planets have progressed and how these planets have placed themselves, and obviously which is reflecting in our normal life, because what is above is also below. So women then, go through these 8-house things, which is abortion. Even after abortion, the woman becomes even more stronger because they go through that death and rebirth scenario. So a woman is stronger than a male. A female is stronger than a male. A female is stronger than a male. Astrologically, I'm not a doctor, so I can't, argue from a point of medical things, but from astrology, this is proven. Because a sword has to go through fire for it to be able to be sharp and to be cutting. And this is what women, females, go through every time, every single time throughout the year. But they have made you think that Mars is stronger. We can even look at it from the point of Venus. We can look at it from that point. What happens when Venus is in the 8th house? Venus in the 8th house does not get destroyed, regardless of it being in the house owned by Mars. Do you know that? Because Venus is also so accustomed to occults that when it's in the 8th house, it can make an incredible, successful occultist. Because if you go back and you read the theologies, which I ask you guys to do when you do astrology, also read the theology, the mythology, whatever you want to call it, the stories, then you will see the power of these planets. Back in Babylon, we used to call Venus Ishtar. And if you read the story of Ishtar, you will understand that she survived the 8th house. Women, Ishtar, right? Venus. And please don't think about these gods, African gods, as demons. They're not demons. Ishtar is actually Venus. But now, with this what you call it, conspiracy theories, they'll say, oh my god, this celebrity is talking about Easter, is promoting a demon. Please, these were our gods in Babylon. So already, Deja, just don't think in that aspect. If you want to understand, go back to the mythology, the theology, the histories. You will see how women survive the 8th house through Venus, Ishtar, the goddess of beauty, as we called Venus, back in Babylon. So I urge you guys to, women, females, I urge you to recognize your power, because the stars have recognized it already. Oh my gosh. I get so worked up how, when I think about how we have doubted our strength for so long and thought that males, Mars was much stronger. Mars rules the 8th house. It can for sure survive the 8th house. But of course, if it's your own house, you're going to survive, or you're going to think you're surviving your own house, but it's your home. Now have a stranger survive your home. This is where you see the power. This is where you see the strength. When you take a foreigner and you place them within your land and they survive and do even much better and be more stronger than you in your own land, then this is where you see the real strength. And so, giving birth, abortions, miscarriages, heartbreaks, being violated, all of these are the themes of the 8th house, and this is what women go through every single day in this world, and they survive, and they become stronger, and they become more fearless. Because the more you do something to a woman, it is actually making them more angrier and more stronger and more fearless. Particularly women who have given birth. There is no single, actually there is just no competition. Females who have given birth and survived, they are actually more fearless, because they have seen what it is to go through under the most difficult, life-threatening, a life-altering, body-altering process and survive it. So this is why you find that A whole lot of women, after giving birth, they become so alert, highly, highly alert, because every nerve becomes awakened. This is why a woman would sense if their child was in danger, even if they're not with the child, because they get awarded with an awakening. And they want you to think that you are the weakest species. Don't doubt yourself. You know, I got so angry, so disturbed. After I had my first child, I was at the hospital and I was breastfeeding. My child was probably like 10 months old, and this doctor said to me, why are you breastfeeding? You know, your baby is now old. I said, well, I'm from Africa and it is quite normal for us to breastfeed our kids and not be told about, oh, this baby is now old. I mean, and then he's like to me, oh, well, this is not Africa. You're no longer in Africa now. You're in France now. And then I looked at him. I'm like, this man, and it was a man, telling me to stop breastfeeding my baby. And so after that, I was literally revolutionized. I became even more of a rebel, because you're not going to tell me to stop breastfeeding my child. Why? Why are you promoting mass in the fourth house? Why are you promoting mass in the Cancer sign? Mass should be debilitated in the Cancer sign, but we are pretending now that it is actually exalted in the fourth house. It is not. We must stop entertaining those ideologies of pretending that Mars is exalted in the Cancer sign in the fourth house. It is debilitated and it should stay like that, because it destroys the nurturing. So we don't want it exalted, because if we exalt it, then we are continuing to destroy what is meant to be of Cancer, nurturing, breastfeeding, holding children with our bodies or with our wombs. And so I continued to breastfeed my child regardless of many, many people who were telling me not to do it, how to do it. Oh, cover yourself. Don't do this. A lot of people. A whole lot of people. And because I am stubborn, I've got my mass, which is very, very strong. And I know what my baby needs, which is the breast milk from my body that the baby created herself. She was in my womb. Did you know that kids can survive the first year without depending on anything other than the breast milk? Your baby can survive only from your milk, because the baby makes and works on its own food, makes its own food whilst it's inside your stomach, so that it can survive. This is why God created women, females with their wombs, to be able to create food for the child's survival within the first year. And to also give you time as a mother to recover and to find alternatives of how to make this child survive, protect this child, and not worry about what's this child gonna eat to survive. Everything was planned out. Your body planned out everything. God created your womb with a formula of how your child would survive for the first year and not depend on the external things and make you worry. It was designed for you to just focus on protecting your child and feeding your child from you whilst you also bond with that child. But nowadays you can no longer even bond with that child because you have to go to work, right? And they tell you not to breastfeed, right? They tell you to go and buy a lab-made milk and replace the perfect formula that your body created and that your baby created according to its needs. Because each baby has got their own DNA and they create the milk that comes out of your boobs according to their own DNA and their own needs and what they lack and what they need to survive. But then when you deliver your baby, you don't breastfeed your baby, you don't nurse your baby, you go out to the store and buy the lab formula that is made for everyone, but your baby made their own milk that is designed to feed their DNA, specifically their DNA. Because their little body knew that maybe they needed more vitamin A, more vitamin C, more of this, more of that. And it was created within your milk, your breast, so that you can feed this baby and this baby can survive. But no. You promote mass, the world promotes mass, and so you go and replicate, but not something that is fitting the DNA of your child. And then you wonder why this world is like this. Why are kids nowadays like this? Why this? Because we've promoted mass within the cancer sign. We've exalted mass. Whoa. Did you know that your breast milk has got 2 different times? It knows when it's night and it knows when it's day. And during the day, your breast milk creates milk that is meant to keep the baby awake. Did you know that? In the morning, the milk that the baby eats from your milk, from your boobs, it's made to awaken the baby. And at night, the formula changes within your breast and it makes the baby more sleepy. But you can't get that with the milk that you buy from the store because it's all the same. You can't. This is why a female body is so strong. It creates wonders and wonders and wonders. Oh my gosh. Do you know how strong you are? Do you know how strong you are? So stop doubting yourself. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. Stop it. Shh. I don't want to hear it. Stop. Stop. Did you know that elephants, they breastfeed their kids up until the age of 6 years old? Elephants, they say it normal. But no, human beings, they say it weird, they see it bizarre, they see it abnormal to breastfeed their kids. Oh no, this baby is so old. Oh my, stop. Stop. Oh, let me stop here. That is my preaching session because I am so passionate about taking Mars and placing it in its position of being debilitated in the 4th house. I don't want Mars to be exalted in the 4th house. I don't want it. I refuse it. I refuse it. I refuse it. I'll chat to you soon. I'll be in the shower.